It has been said that the best way to break someone's heart is to write a romantic tragedy. And crafting a story that's heartbreaking but beautiful takes skill and finesse. So here are a few tips on how to write a romantic tragedy that will leave your readers in tears. Hi, I'm Stuart Wakefield, an Author Accelerator certified book coach and writer. With 26 years in theatre, broadcast media, and coaching under my belt, I know what makes stories work. And I love to share that with other writers because the world of storytelling is like the ocean. It's deep, it's mysterious, and it's a little scary to those who don't know how to navigate it. And with so much left to luck and timing, it's my mission to give great books the best chance of getting into readers' hands. In each episode, I'll share tips and plans of action that will help you write, edit, and publish your book. If you're new to writing or consciously working to improve your craft, then this is the podcast for you. So what is a romantic tragedy? A tragic romance tells a story of two people who fall in love, but are ultimately doomed to fail. And the beauty of a romantic tragedy is that it allows us to experience the full range of human emotion. We can feel joy when they are together, and heartache when they are torn apart. When it comes to writing a romantic tragedy, you want to ensure that the story is one that will break your reader's heart, and to do this you'll need to focus on the key elements of storytelling: creating believable characters with a strong emotional connection to the reader, building tension and suspense, and delivering a satisfying and heartbreaking ending. One of the most important things to keep in mind when writing a tragic romance is that the love story should still be the focus of the story. Your reader should feel invested in the characters and their relationship, and you should take your time developing that connection. Use dialogue and action to reveal their emotions and progress their relationship. Don't just tell the reader how they feel. Another key element is suspense. You want your reader constantly wondering what's going to happen next, what twist or turn the story will take. The fundamental difference between a romance and a romantic tragedy is the end. So let's start there. How a romantic tragedy ends is the key, but don't think that one lover has to die. A tragic ending can be just as powerful if one character sacrifices the relationship for the greater good, one lover is left alone with their regrets, or the relationship, despite its potential, builds to a crescendo that only breaking up will solve. I've seen many storytellers using an incident unrelated to the story to polish off one of the romantic leads, and if I'm honest, I think it's lazy. Now, a character who has a trait that leads them to die, or an illness or a foreshadowed mistake on their part is way more satisfying. I have a work in progress that involves a young man drowning at the end. At the beginning of the novel, he makes an off-the-cuff remark about not being able to swim. It's a throwaway line said as he turns down a social event. It's never mentioned again, but the seed is there. By the end of the novel, he's so confident his lover can save him from anything that he, a little drunk, jumps off a sandbank and into deep water, expecting to be rescued. His lover, suddenly remembering the off-the-cuff remark, tries to save him, but it's too late. A strong current has dragged the young man under and he drowns. It's much better than a random shark bite, right? Right? So leave clues along the way that it won't end well. Just as a note, there are a few drowning metaphors peppered throughout that manuscript, but it's nothing obvious enough to tip off the reader. So the ending should be unpredictable, but it should be inevitable. If an ending is going to be tragic, give the readers some feeling that greater purpose is served by it. Give them an ending which is earned by the only way your characters could behave and remain true to their natures. Most readers like surprises, even tragic ones, and they like earned surprises even more. Pro tip: don't do a Titanic. I'm one of those folks who believe that Jack would have fitted on that damn door if Rose had just shifted over. It annoys me that she didn't. Please don't do that to your readers. Respect the rules of logic. So we've talked about the end, but really it's about the end. Because you don't just want to end things there. Readers need a little cushioning, so a final scene in which one, if not both of the characters reflects on what has happened, leaving them with the sense that maybe, just maybe, they'll find love again, or make different choices, or swear to be a better person. Now let's look at the story beats. Devotees of story beats will recognize many of the following from different models out there. But here are some of the obligatory beats you're going to need for a romantic tragedy to really work. Now, you might consider story beats 1 to 7 and at least one aspect of number 8 as standard romance story beats, and I'd absolutely agree with you. So let's dive in. Okay, so number 1, absolute, undeniable attraction as soon as the lovers meet. Number 2, hitting a wall. This can be much heavier than the refusal of the call or the no way I can't get with them beat. Think Romeo's and Juliet's families. The key here is to make it so difficult for the lovers to get together that when they do, their ultimate separation is that much more heartbreaking. Number 3, they resist temptation just like that mouth-watering chocolate bar your parents bought for Christmas that you absolutely, positively must have. I mean, it's still November. They can buy another one, right? Number 4, they fight their feelings. Number 5, bow chicka wow wow. They give in to their urges. They don't have to bump uglies, but at least let them bump lips. Number 6, post-bumping bliss can't last forever, and something has to happen to remind them this won't last, because life will always find a way to keep them apart, whether it be distance, misunderstanding, or anything else your devious little brain to come up with to torture them. Number 7, but they belong together, so they get back together. They travel, clearing up the misunderstanding or something else your wonderful little brain can come up with to relieve them. Number 8, they declare mutual love or they declare their mutual doomed love. And there's a distinction here. Knowing their love is doomed can be effective for some tragedies, so I really want you to think this through from the reader's perspective. Do you want them to have the impending sense of dread or just give them a jolt? Often, the happy ending comes right after a really terrible low. So consider having that intense high, the resolution of one of the main conflicts in the story, then follow it with number 9, which is that tragic ending. All's bad that ends bad. Or should that be badly? Whatever. Anyway, so either way, it ends badly. There's too much in their way, namely you, dear writer, and one or both of them kick the bucket either literally or metaphorically. Number 10. Someone, somewhere, must reflect on the ending of the doomed love and the circumstances around said doomage. If both lovers die, the remaining characters must recognize their love was true. If only one dies, the surviving lover, you guessed it, reflects on what has happened, leaving them with the sense that maybe, just maybe, they'll find love again, make different choices, or swear to be a better person, even if they never love again. They might even bond with someone over the loss of their loved one. So what about sentimentality versus truth? Sentimentality can do all of the heavy lifting for you, but I have to say it's a blunt tool. It manipulates the reader and it robs them of surprise. In the words of Oscar Wilde, a sentimentalist is simply one who desires to have the luxury of emotion without paying for it. And in the words of James Joyce, sentimentality is unearned emotion. So the beats of tragic romance, of all stories really, can be considered formulaic, but sadness can't be forced, which leads us to truth. When you give readers the truth of who your characters are, your readers can experience genuine, earned connections with your characters. And through those connections, you can move a reader to tears. So don't veer towards sentimentality or worse, melodrama. It's truth that really does all the heavy lifting. Romance is all about the highs and lows of emotion, the roller coaster. So find the truth in those moments and you are golden. Further reading. So listen, the best way to learn how to write romantic tragedy is, no surprise, read tragic romance novels. Reading these sad novels about love should help you to determine the beats you want to hit in your own tragic love story. So here are 10 of my favourite tragic romances. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Yes, I know it's a play, but yes, it's really good, even though that weird thing that Juliet's only like 13 or something creepy. Okay, so Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Yes, I cried. A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I Too Had a Love Story by Ravinder Singh. History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, and The Love Story by Eric Segal. Before I wrap up, I invite you to do all the usual stuff like, review, share and subscribe. But better than all of that, come and visit me at thebookcoach.co. Sign up for my free self-editing guide and take a look at the services I provide, but there's tons of free useful stuff on my blog too. So these are my final thoughts. Romantic tragedies can be challenging to write, yes, but the end result can be a deeply rewarding experience. A successful romantic tragedy must have a believable and compelling love story at its heart, and the characters must be sympathetic and the reader must feel invested in their fate. If they're not, they won't see it as a tragedy. And the plot must also be structured in such a way that the tragedy is inevitable and unavoidable. The climax of the story should be powerful and emotionally charged, leading to a devastatingly tragic ending. And this type of story can be immensely satisfying for readers who enjoy watching beloved characters suffer. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, and well done for investing some time in your own writing life. And yes, this podcast is about writing, but I'm here for you, not just your story.